Welcome to another episode of the Victorian Ghost Hunter Investigates. Where are we this time? An amazing pub called the Raikes in Blackpool. It's time to go inside the Raikes and see what awaits us. I have a special guest that will be joining us. Maybe two. One you have met before. But let's go inside the Raikes and go to the first floor, and let's begin the Victorian Ghost Hunter Investigates Raikes Hall. So we're inside Raikes Hall, and I'm on the first floor. There's a little corridor that leads from the function room into the function room bar, and I've got my special guest for this episode sitting waiting in the bar, hopefully with a drink for me. No drink, not impressed, but let me introduce you to my special guest, and that is Andrea. Andrea is the landlady for Raikes Hall, and I've asked Andrea to be here because, well, Andrea has some stories that she'll be able to tell as well. But I also would like to get a proper history, because as I've said in a previous episode, I may know a little bit of history about some of the locations I'll be going into, but I may get confused on the dates. I'm quite old, being Victorian. So, Andrea, thank you for letting us into Raikes Hall.
Very well.
I know the ghost hunter is excited.
Good. I'm excited.
And I can't wait to get started whenever we
Fabulous.
switch the lights on in here, in the bar. I know. I'm glad you did that, because I would have done it myself. But there's 4 areas that we are going to be going into inside Raikes Hall and out. There is a large garden area, which is now the bowling area outside. So we'll be going outside a little bit later. But for now, Andrea, would you mind giving me a little bit of history and let our viewers know what is Raikes Hall? Why is it here?
Raikes Hall was built in 1760 as a family home originally. It's Grade 2 listed now.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was Grade 2.
Yeah, so outside you can't, it has to stay as it is. What you see now.
Yeah, it is beautiful outside.
It's absolutely
If you
beautiful.
haven't seen Raikes Hall, you must come down, not just because it's an amazing pub, with the lovely Andrea, but the building itself is stunning. So do pay it a visit, or at least have a look at some of the images that I will upload over the next day or so. Sorry, I interrupted.
It's all right. It was a nunnery, convent?
Convent.
That's the word I was looking for.
It's my word.
Convent for a few years. There's been a few sightings, which I can tell you about later on if you like.
Definitely, but not yet.
Not yet, too early.
Not yet, too early. Too early. Wait until we've got the lights out and we go to that area.
Then it was Royal Palace Gardens for a long time, before the Winter Gardens came along, wasn't it?
That was the very first. The Royal Palace Gardens was the very first entertainment and leisure complex for Blackpool, wasn't it?
Yes.
Before the Winter Gardens
Before
and the tower.
Winter Gardens, before the tower, it was the place to be.
I know that there were theatres here. There were, was there a skating rink?
Skating rink,
Circus.
race course.
It
An
must have been
aviary.
huge. An aviary as well.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I would love to have gone back in time just to
marvellous.
see what it was like.
Yeah, it would have been stunning. It must have been. I've seen photographs. I've seen a plan of the whole of the Royal Palace Gardens in Raikes Hall, and it covered a huge area.
Yes.
All the way from Church Street through Hornby Road.
Hornby Road down to Whitegate Drive.
Yeah.
The old entrance was where the Salvation Army is now.
That's Raikes Parade area,
yeah,
is it?
and that grass at the side apparently was where the gates were.
It is huge. A
So you
huge
can
area.
imagine.
So come along and pay Raikes Hall a visit. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to ask Andrea if she will turn the lights on. And then I'm...
You're brave.
Well, actually, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should go for a little walkthrough of some of the areas first. I'll explain. At Raikes Hall, we're in the function room bar right now. A small room, but definitely one of the favourite rooms when we're doing any kind of events here. And next to it, up a few steps, is the actual function room. And we've been able to sneak in because you do have events here from darts, quizzes, and all sorts. So we're going to go into the function room, and a little bit later, after that, I'm going to take you into the cellars. And it's not just one room. There are, is it 4 or 5 cellars in there?
Yeah. Everyone loves the cellars.
They are creepy. They are creepy. There's no other word for it. So I'll take you into the cellars, and then we'll go outside. Outside now, the gardens that you have, they are now 2 bowling greens, aren't they?
Just 1 bowling green.
1 bowling green,
yeah.
2 pitches within that.
Yes.
I always get it wrong. I don't know. But it's a fantastic area. There's a walkway all the way around. And I don't want to give anything away right this second, but we will be going and sitting in one little area, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we may get a little bit of activity. But first, let me show you around. So, I'm going to show you the rest of the bar. I'm just putting my microphone on. So this is the bar. Now, it is a working bar, so it's not got any glasses and beer mats on tables, but this is the function room bar. And it's a lovely bar. It really is. It's a great place whenever they're doing functions here. Wonderful, intimate bar, but very different when the lights are turned on. You can hear Andrea laughing. Andrea knows not just from the events that supernatural events do here, but also from working here, living here. I worry about 1 hour on my own. Andrea's lived here 8 years?
8 years, yeah.
I wouldn't. Right, going to take you up into the function room. We'll go the quick way up these steps, and I'll show you upstairs. Now, we're in the function room, and it's quite a large room. You can see all the way around, and that's back down into the bar area. So, Andrea, I know this is another area where we do have some strange things that go on. I'd like to say eerie, supernatural, paranormal, and some people will say it's reported. Mm-hmm. But we've heard, we've seen, and we've experienced things in this room. And who knows, tonight you might get to see and hear what does go on in here. But let's just keep our fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Before you run away.
Yeah.
I'm just going to walk down this way a little bit so you can see the room again. And you'll see there's some amazing, beautiful paintings on the walls as well that we believe are from the Royal Palace Garden days. I think that's a little nod to the racecourse that used to be here, and the stables. There used to be stables attached to this building as well. So, the wonderful function room that you may not think is wonderful later on. Now, we're going to go back downstairs, and I'm going to take you into the cellars. So hopefully you can see as we go down the stairs. So I know we're just going around the corner.
Okay.
So
Where are we going
now, I know there are quite a few cellars here. So what I'd like to do is visit just a couple of them for now, and then I'll come down and spend a bit more time whenever I've got the lights out.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm doing this, I really don't. So, can we go straight down into the back cellar, and then we'll come back to my favourite one in a moment.
Bit loud, isn't it?
Now, I will say the fans are on at the moment. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully the mic is picking everything up. But when I come down later, the fans will be off. It'll be a lot quieter. But you can see it's one very large cellar. Well, this room is. Now, again, I'll be honest and say that people who have been in here, now it's going to be the staff, it's going to be people that have been on tours, they have seen somebody down here. And I don't mean a shadow, I don't mean just something out of the corner of their eye, I mean a full-on apparition. And hopefully, Andrea's laughing, you know what people have seen here. So hopefully we may see something a little bit later. But there's another 2 cellars through the door over there. So let's go through this way. This is the cellar drop. So this is when you get a delivery from the dray. This is where all the barrels come down the chute over there. And then there's one more cellar through here.
This room's really active.
That's all you need to say. It is. Andrea's just said it is an active room. And I can agree, a lot has happened in here. A lot of people have seen, heard, and a lot of people have actually been touched. So I'm hoping that something will happen a little bit later on. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed in a tentative way. Now there's one more cellar that I love. It's a small cellar and it looks more like a tunnel, but we've got to go there as well. So we're going back through these cellars. I shall just let this one lead out. So we're saying goodbye to this one, and then there is just a wonderful cellar. I mean, even the entrance way to the cellar, it looks like I don't know, a church door. There's just, and it's a small cellar. As Andrea's just done, you have to bend over, you have to crouch, but it's a small room, but it is probably one of the most active rooms in all of Raikes Hall. Well, I'm a little bit smaller, and I'm not wearing the hat. I've taken the hat off for now, so yes, I can stand up, but I'd end up with a very sore back if I keep doing this much longer. So we've done a quick walk through the cellars, and our final area to go to is outside, and we're going to go into the gardens area. Now, you may not be able to see much at the moment, but if I just turn the camera around, you can see the bowling green. You can see how far back the gardens actually go here at Raikes Hall. Now, we're going into that dark corner. Sorry, Andrea, I'm taking you into that dark corner because...
my least favourite.
Now, we have to be careful where we're walking because there's tables.
Right there.
Like the one right in front of me that I'm nearly on top of. Right. Hopefully we've got through the obstacle course.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Oh, it is. It is dark.
It is dark.
But we're going past... Was this the bowling club?
Yep.
This is their little pavilion in this area. Oh, I'm blinded now. I can't see where I'm going. I'm glad you think this is funny.
Well, I won't be in a minute.
No. Let me just see where we are because
it's really dark, isn't it?
we're right.
Okay.
Now we have got to the area I wanted to come to. Now, I'm going to speak up a bit because it is very windy in this area, and hopefully you will be able to hear us. Now, this corner of the bowling green where we've stopped, I will try and bring a brighter torch out here later. If not, then I will add more photographs to this story, because it's out here that people have seen somebody through a window. In the corner, in the depths of the corner, over that direction, you can see nothing at the moment. It is that dark. It's pitch black. People have seen a face through the window.
Yeah.
Now, the building that is next to Raikes Hall is what was part of the original stables for the house. And people who have looked up at that building have seen a face looking through the window back at them, but there's nobody up there. You can't physically get to that part of the building.
There's no floor. So we don't know how that's
that explains why it's not possible. There is no floor. We don't know who the figure is. Many people have suggested who it could be. Somebody to do with the house, somebody to do with perhaps whenever Raikes Hall was a school, or there's so many different reasons for who this could be. But to be honest, we don't know at the moment.
No,
so
we've never got that far if
we haven't,
down.
because there's no floor and you can't get up there. Now, I'm going to be saying goodbye to Andrea in a second.
Okay.
Andrea's decided it's too dark out here, and she wants to run away and leave me on my own.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take a little bit of a walk further into the gardens area, down past the bowling greens, and hopefully I'll be able to tell you a few more stories on our way. But Andrea, thank you,
Very well,
and hopefully I will see you later at some point.
Good luck.
If you don't find me in an hour, come looking.
Yeah, I'll come
with a big torch.
Yeah,
Thank you.
have fun.
Safe back.
Bye.
Right. So, let's just get our bearings, because it really is dark out here. There are no lights, sadly, but there is a little pathway. And as long as I stay on this path, then we'll get to where I want to go. So, Andrea is now a figure in the distance. I'm out on the bowling green on my own, walking along a path. And the reason I'm out on this path is because some people who have been out here sitting watching what's going on with the bowling green have fallen over. They haven't been pushed. They have just fallen over. Wondered what that was. It's a leaf. It is so dark out here. There's definitely just a strange presence out here, but I'm still not sure why people fall over. It makes no sense. So I'm going to go back inside. I'm going to go through to the function room, to the bar, and then I'm going to bring you back out a little bit later. So let's turn and let's head back to the bar. The lights are out. It's a beautiful bar, I have to say, but also a very strange bar, because often whenever people are in here, they feel as if they are being watched. Now, there are stairs leading up into the main function room, just here. And this is where people see a figure, a man. That man is sat on the steps. If I just move the camera here, I will show you exactly where this man sits. He sits on the step here, and he tends to watch What's going on in the bar? People that have seen this man have described him as someone imposing, someone who obviously has some kind of authority. He wears a hat. He wears a black suit. Now, the jacket of that suit, it's a tails suit. And he will sit here. He's a lot longer than me, a lot taller, I should say. His feet are on the floor, and he sits 3 steps up. So he must be quite a tall gentleman. He sits, he watches what's going on, and sometimes he will rise up from the steps, and he will walk over and just pass by whoever is sat in the center of the table. We're not sure who this man is. We have had people make suggestions, people who have been on tours here, who have come up with names, but that's not what I want to do. I want to take us further into Raikes Hall, and I want to go up into the main function room. So we're going up the stairs. And the reason I want to bring you up here is because it's a far corner. Over in that corner, again, people have experienced things. Now, a lot of people who have been here on events, I'm not talking ghost hunting events, paranormal events. I'm talking about events that they have in Raikes Hall. It might be the darts, it might be quizzes. It could be anything that is going on here. They have seen something too going on in this corner. They've seen a young boy and a young girl. Children playing in this room. Now, we know that at one point this was a school, but it was a school for girls. So that could perhaps explain why people have seen a young girl. But who is the young boy? Now, we know that just out here, through this wall on the other side, that's where the stables would have been. And when we were outside, having a little walk through, I mentioned about the building and the face that is seen through the window of that building. Andrea confirmed there's no floor where that window is, so nobody could stand up there and look through the window, but many have seen a young boy, the same boy that is seen playing in this corner. Is it the boy from the stables? Is it the same boy? Well, many people believe so. He's been described the same through the window and in this corner. The little girl, many people have seen her playing on the stairs as you walk from the main bar up to the first floor level. And hopefully we'll get into that area shortly. Some people have called her Victoria. Victoria seems to be a name that has been linked with this little girl for many, many years. I've been coming and doing events here for maybe 5 years, but the story of Victoria, the unfinished story of Victoria, because we don't know enough about her, has been told for more than 5 years. I stopped. There was a noise just over there. You can see where the darts board is, and it sounded like just a cough. Let's go over this way. So again, I'm just going to put the camera down in this corner. It was a cough. Now it's quiet here. There's nobody about. Why we would hear coughing if it wasn't me, I don't know who. I wonder if it's Victoria. I wonder if it's a little girl. I wonder if it's a little boy who's come in. Staff who work here have seen both the children playing in the bar area near the stairs as you come up. there's something I'd like to do. I haven't brought it into the room with me, but I'm going to go and get my little friend, the doll. So let me just pause this for 1 second. This is my little friend. She was given to me last Halloween, and she's made an appearance not just on a couple of my events, the Ghost Tram Blackpool Ghost Walks, but also on the Louder Pavilion, the very first episode of the Victorian Ghost Hunter Investigates. There is a little button in here. Eerie, scary, but she's a great trigger object. And I'm going to leave her in this corner where I heard the coughing coming from, and see if anything happens. So let me just turn this around. You can see the chairs that are sat there. Just going to leave her there. And then we're going back into the bar. So let's make sure we don't fall and head down the stairs into the bar. Now you can see there's a candle lit. And that is to see if anything happens. Because I'm going to sit at the table here and I'm going to do what many people do on paranormal investigations and ghost hunts. I'm going to call out and see if we can hear anything, if we see anything, and perhaps maybe the doll may call out to us as well. It's happened before. Let's see if anything does happen this time. I'm just going to ask if there is anyone in this room with me from the spirit world, give me a sign. Make the candle flicker, blow the candle out, make the doll activate. Do something. Give us a sign that you are here. Come on, if you are in the room, give me a sign. Nothing at all. Nothing. Doesn't feel strange at all. It actually feels very calm, very peaceful. Oh, no. Can you hear? Can you hear her? She's gone off again. I don't want to trip running up the stairs. She's still in the same place. She hasn't moved, but did you hear that? Please do turn the volume up on that piece of video. Rewind it if you need to. But I heard her again. Now, it is just... Hey. I don't know why, but they seem attracted to this little doll. It's not the doll. I know everyone talks about haunted dolls. It's not the doll. I hope. But I'm going to take her out of here because I am going to take her back down. I didn't mean to push the button. We're going to take her downstairs into the cellar. If they're playing with her up here, then perhaps they'll play with her in the cellar as well. So, I'm I'm going to blow the candle out. Health and safety. Got the doll. It's time to go downstairs, back into the cellars. I've got my little friend. Actually, if you're watching this, you can come up with a name for her, because I just call her my little eerie friend. So it's all right, it's the beer pumps. Now, there's two rooms. There's my favorite in there. There's just a little bit of light. And then there's the one at the end of this corridor. I'm going to leave her here 1 minute, because I'm going to use her in the other room. But I want to come into this cellar, because this is the one that many people, as we said earlier, have seen a man walking through. I'm going to bring Andrea up there, because Andrea has seen this gentleman, and she believes she knows who he is. And I'm going to leave it at that for now. But after we've done a little bit of time in this cellar, then we'll go back up to the function room. So this is the cellar space. And it is just around here that people see this gentleman. Now, one of the things that the staff have talked about is right behind me, actually. You might be able to see it if I bring my lamp here. You can see there a very old apron. Now, that apron has been hanging there for years. It would have been worn by somebody who worked here, somebody who worked the cellars. But talking to Andrea and Wayne, the landlord, Andrea's husband, he has always said that apron has never been worn. They've been here over 8 years now, and never once has anyone that works here during that time ever worn the apron. And as far as he is aware from the previous tenants of the bar, nobody wore it then. It's a bit of a part of the fixtures and fittings, and many of the staff who have come down here to change the barrels, which you can see right behind me over here, have said that they have seen this apron moving. They have come over. It is secured, it's hung up, but it has been moving. And just after they see it moving is when they see the man walking past this pillar, walking all the way out the door. He walks through the door and he goes in to the smaller cellar. That's where I'm taking you now. And that's where I'm also going to bring our friend. So let's go through here. Is a quieter room. Now, I shouldn't be advertising, but I want her to sit just there. Now, you can see her sitting just over there. And I'm going to leave her in this little cellar. Many believe that this cellar actually was part of a tunnel that led from the cellars of the original Raikes Hall out into the gardens. It certainly looks as if it could have been a tunnel. I don't know for sure. I don't think anyone does, but it definitely doesn't look like any of the other cellars that are down here. So we're just going to stay quiet a moment. I can see I know it's no fun whenever it's quiet. We're all wishing something would happen. But it's more to tell you what does happen in here, what is seen, heard, what is felt by staff, by visitors. I'm going to leave our friend. And remember, tell me what she should be called, and I'll pick the best one from the comments after this is broadcast. But now, I'm going to leave her, close the door, and go upstairs, find Andrea, because I know she wants to tell a couple of her stories to do with the gentleman and somebody who is seen outside in the gardens, and we will go back out there. Just close the door. It's time to go back up the stairs. Time to leave. Let's go over, because Andrea has some stories to tell. Now, hello again.
Hello.
So hopefully we'll get both of us into this shot. There we go. How's that? Oh, perfect. Now, thank you for coming back. A few things have happened in this room, but I'm not telling you now. Okay. I want you to be as surprised when you see this final edition. But yeah, something's happened here. But I know Andrea has some stories to tell. Andrea, you've been here 8 years, just over 8 years. Yeah. So tell me something. What is, where do you start? Well, I'll tell you what, if I mention one thing, let's see if Andrea can expand on it, because I think you'll be able to. If I say a gentleman sitting on the steps or the stairs between the function room and the function room bar just over there, does that make sense to you? Right, I'm just going to move my microphone over a little bit so that everyone can hear. So, does that mean something to you?
Yeah.
Go on, tell us.
He's been seen in quite a few areas by myself. Other people have seen him as a shadow more than anything, but I have actually seen him like you are there now.
Yeah.
Not see-through or anything like that.
Yeah. A lot of people automatically presume spirit beings, ghosts, are always see-through.
Yeah. But he was just as plain as day, just sat there on the stairs.
Okay. Now, I just want to ask, because I've already spoken about him, what's he dressed like? How does he look?
Very well dressed. So I'd say he was probably very wealthy.
Okay.
It's almost like a tails, top hat and tails.
Okay.
And he wears like pinstripe trousers.
Ah.
Tie.
Okay.
So it's not black. It's
right.
Like grey.
Because I always thought it was a sort of black suit that he wears.
Yeah.
But he wears black and grey pinstripes?
Yeah, going through.
Right. But the jacket is black?
Totally black.
And it's tails.
Tails. Yeah.
So I've already mentioned about a hat, tailed coat. But do you have any idea who you think it could be?
I think he's John Hornby that would have lived here when the Hornby family were here. They lived here. It was their home basically before it was made into a convent.
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of happy times for him here. But
he's not a menacing character or anything.
I've never had anything bad happen. No,
he's quite imposing. Quite a strong character, but
very.
I don't think he does anything to harm anyone, does he?
Not that I know of. No, he's never done it to
but
me
he has
anyway.
been seen by quite a few people.
Yes.
Where else has he been seen in Raikes Hall?
He's been seen in the lower bar area, where the dartboard is.
Right, so that's
Directly
downstairs
under here.
underneath us, right?
Yeah, he's just leaning.
Okay.
So you'll see him there. He doesn't really. I've not really seen him in the cellar, but in all those areas in the main part of where it would have been the house, you'll see him there.
So we think it is John Hornby who lived in this house.
I think so. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I ask, in the cellar or the cellars, when you go down the steps and you go along the corridor, forget my favourite one, but right ahead of you, I was showing everyone what was hanging up downstairs.
Oh, the scary apron.
The apron. And I was explaining that some of the staff have seen that apron move.
Yeah.
But it's also in there that a gentleman is seen. Do you think it's the same man or do you think it's someone else?
No, we think that's William. I think you pronounce it Butcher.
Right.
We think that's him.
And William Butcher was?
So he was, it gets a bit confusing now. Basically, he lived here also for a very long time.
And that was before the Hornbys?
And that was before the Hornbys. So we have to go right back to when it was first built. And he used, allegedly, was that he used to set up lights on the sea.
Yeah.
So the ships would crash
and
smash up, and then he would go out with his
friends.
Yeah,
there's a lot of rumours about him, isn't there?
A lot, and they're not always great either, which is a bit strange.
He was involved in piracy and smuggling.
Yeah.
But also he did. He has been accused of sinking boats and ships because just off our coast, it is the main, or I should say it was, the main shipping route for cargo ships coming from Europe and America to Liverpool, Fleetwood, the main ports back in the day. So there would have been a lot of smuggling going on around this whole coastline. And he was supposedly involved in that as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So you think it could be him down there?
Yeah.
Okay. But there's someone else that you know quite a bit about as well, or you've seen and others have seen. And is that outside?
Can be outside, yeah. She's been seen outside if you're talking about the nun.
See, I wasn't talking about anyone. I will be going outside. So it was a bit of a leading question, but yes, who the nun? Where do you see this nun? Inside, outside?
I've seen her in the function room here.
In here?
Yeah, actually in here. So I was cleaning it one day, and I remember it as if it was yesterday, and I was just hoovering, and I just, if you look across and think there's somebody there, and she literally just walked past me as if I wasn't there.
Okay.
Didn't walk into me or anything, just walked right past me, full dress as she was, and just walked down the stairs, carried on.
And through the function room bar?
Yeah, just basically like straight through, yeah.
I know she has been seen by many people.
Yeah.
I didn't know she'd been seen up in this room, I have to be honest. And she is seen outside as well. But there are some stories and rumours regarding a nun who was found in the lake here at the Royal Palace Gardens. And that would have been going back to the days whenever Raikes Hall was the convent. Nobody is too sure whether she committed suicide. And again, there are many rumours, many stories, and some people believe that she may have been murdered. We don't know for sure. We know it was recorded, and it is recorded in the history books, but why? Who knows? So we will be going out into the grounds again, and we'll be taking a pathway that many people have seen that nun travel along outside, which is as we go out to where the bowling green is. It's
I don't like
it as well.
Yeah, it does scare me out there.
Yeah, but the good thing is, where I'm going to be going and following in her footsteps is where it's lit up. There are some street lamps, so I'm quite happy about that. Andrea, thank you very much for allowing the Victorian Ghost Hunter Investigates to come here. I'm going to go for a little bit of a wander outside now. Thank you
Okay.
for telling your stories as well.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I always love it whenever it's somebody to do with a location, a venue, wherever I'm in filming. I love it whenever they get involved and they're able to tell their story. So it's not just me passing on information, it's your story because it's your pub and it's your home as well.
Yeah.
So it's time for me to say goodbye for now, and it's time for me to pause the video while I put the hat on and get myself downstairs and go outside. So I will see you very shortly. Andrea, thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Right, we've come back outside. I like this. Security lights come on whenever there's a bit of a movement. Now, again, if we look out over into the bowling green area, you can see it's very empty. But it's time now for us to go for a little bit of a wander. Because Andrea has already told you about the nun. And this is the area that you would see the nun. Now, we know that there was a lake at the Royal Palace Gardens. So perhaps that's why she would be walking around this area. Maybe she's walking to the lake, around the lake. But it's definitely an area that she has been seen by many. You can see the wonderful Raikes Hall behind. Let's keep going. Now, it's right into that dark corner that I'm going to take us now. However, I don't know if you're going to see anything. I have brought my little lantern. But it is extremely dark, so let's hope you can see. And let's hope I can see, because I don't want to fall over. Now, we're coming up to the far corner, and we will be heading down a pathway here. Sadly, the light is not on above us, but it is this pathway again in this corner that the nun has been seen. I know you can't see anything here. It is too dark. But let's go for a wander back in, because I want to go back down to the cellar and see how our little friend is doing. I think Andrea may still be in. She may still be up. So if she is, I'll get her to join us. Oh, I'm glad I stopped talking there. I could have been tripping over a bin. Oh. We're just into the corner where the old stables used to be, next to the original Raikes Hall. Again, upstairs in the window is where many have seen the little boy. I don't like this corner. Many people don't like it. There's actually a door in the wall. Now, I'm going towards that. I don't think I'm going to pick up much here, but it's extremely dark, too dark, sadly. Actually, you can see the old door. It's just up above where part of the old stable building is. So it's just above the door, and that's where people see this little boy through the window. Let's try and get out of this area safely, because there's trees and shrubs, and I want to find my way back safely onto the pathway. So, our next stop is the cellar. At least we're coming into an area that does have light. I can relax again. We'll say goodbye to the outside area. Now the bowling green. And we're going to go back inside Raikes Hall, down into the cellar. Oh, it's nice to be able to see. Right, here we go. Through the doors. You guys, you're going first. Okay. Let's... I hope you can all see it's very dark. My little lantern is lighting up the way, so you're going first. It's not that I'm not brave. It's just I like the idea of somebody else leading the way. Now, into my favourite cellar. Oh. It's too dark in here. I may have to turn on the main lights. Hold on. I need to take that off. Okay. So we're in our little cellar again. Hello. I'm frightened of saying she's moved. I guess she could have fallen off. I did have her placed there. Next time I'm going to put a second camera, hopefully, and we can do it as a locked off trigger object. I'll leave a camera running. I didn't expect her to have moved. She's already called out. I don't know whether she is attracting the children, whether it's them that's playing. But I don't know why she would have moved. If she has, she could have fallen. I know this. But it's time to take her. It's time to go back up and finish it. Through the door. Close the door. Let's go back up these stairs. So I've come to the safety of the function room bar. It's time to say goodnight. Goodbye to the Raikes Hall. Goodbye to its ghosts. Thank you, Andrea, for spending so much time. Thank you for giving a little bit of history, for joining me outside, and for letting me wander alone, well, almost alone, through this amazing building. Time to put the hat on, and time to go and film somewhere else. Sorry. she needs to come with me. Until next time, be safe.